Jonathan Roumie, the man who portrays Jesus to millions, walks onto Jimmy Kimmel's stage smiling, but moments later storms off as security guards rush in a simple question about faith spirals into the most explosive confrontation in late-night history. Leaving Kimmel speechless and the audience divided, the star of The Chosen didn't just disagree with his host. He called out Hollywood's mockery of Christianity on live television, revealing text messages from producers that were never meant to go public. The footage ABC desperately tried to edit has leaked, showing what really happened when America's beloved Jesus refused to let his faith become a punchline network. Executives are scrambling as numbers stand with Roumie trends worldwide, and Kimmel's team remains silent. How did television's most mild-mannered actor become the center of late night's most shocking showdown? Let's get into it. If you're new here, smash that subscribe button and drop a comment with your thoughts on celebrities who stand up for their faith. Are we witnessing a spiritual awakening in Hollywood, or just another scandal? Let's see who's tuned in for this divine showdown. And if you've ever felt your beliefs were mocked, share your story below. This community respects what mainstream media won't. The Jimmy Kimmel live studio is electric lights, glaring crowd, humming with anticipation. Jonathan Roumie, whose portrayal of Jesus has moved millions to tears, sits backstage, eyes closed in quiet prayer. Unlike most guests who pace nervously or scroll through phones, he's centered, calm, a stark contrast to the chaos about to unfold. His latest project, Persecuted Documents. Christians facing death for their faith around the world, it's not just another role, it's his mission. His fingers trace the outline of a small wooden cross in his pocket, a gift from a viewer whose life changed after watching The Chosen. Room is not here for publicity. He's here with purpose. Backstage, Emma, his longtime publicist, watches the monitors with unease. She confronted the producers just 30 minutes earlier. Her voice steady but firm. We agreed, no faith. Mocking jokes. Jonathan's serious about this. The head producer nodded dismissively, sliding a revised script across the table that still included the controversial segment. It's comedy, he shrugged. Viewers expect it. Emma's eyes narrowed. You don't understand who you're dealing with. She texted Roumie immediately. They're ignoring our conditions, still planning the our few. Halo, bit your call. His reply was simple. Then I'll speak truth now, as the stage manager counts down. Emma catches Roumie's eye across the bustling green room. She mouths silently, sure about this. He nods. Once resolute. The producers have no idea they think they're getting a soft-spoken actor. Instead, they're about to face a man who spent 3 years embodying unwavering conviction. A man who's memorized every biblical instance where Jesus confronted hypocrisy without fear. The floor director motions. 1 minute to air. Kimmel reviews his cards, chuckling at the religious jokes his writers crafted. The audience settles, phones ready to capture what they expect will be light-hearted banter. No one sees what's coming. The audience roars as Kimmel finishes his monologue, a string of political jabs and celebrity gossip. And now he grins, a man who's turned water into wine on screen. Though I'm thinking we could use something stronger tonight. Jonathan Roumie, the band launches into a pop remix of Spirit in the Sky. As Roumie walks out, waving warmly to the crowd, his handshake with Kimmel is genuine. His smile reaching his eyes, the audience settles as they take their seats. Camera 2 catching a close-up of Roumie's face, serene but alert, like a chess player mapping moves ahead. So you play Jesus. Kimmel begins casually leaning back. The most famous role in history. No pressure, right? Roumie laughs easily. It's humbling. He says, his voice carrying that distinctive warmth that's made millions feel personally addressed every day on set. Is a prayer? Really? Kimmel nods, following the script. Your show's crushing it. Crowd-funded, right? No. Hollywood money? The viewers made it happen. Roumie explains, leaning forward. People hungry for something. Authentic about faith. He starts describing the impact letters from prisoners, families reunited, addictions broken. But Kimmel's eyes flick to the teleprompter, time to change direction. But let's be honest, Kimmel cuts in his tone, shifting slightly. Playing Jesus must be great for dating life, right? Swipe right on the Messiah. A ripple of uncomfortable laughter crosses the audience. Roumie's smile doesn't falter, but something in his eyes changes, a subtle hardening. That's not something I joke about, he says. Simply, Kimmel pushes forward. Come on, you must have some good stories. Do women expect miracles in the bedroom? The audience gasps, half shocked, half delighted at the boundary being crossed. The camera catches Roumie's jaw tightening, slightly in the wings. Emma closes her eyes briefly. Here it comes. Roum leans forward, voice still measured. Jimmy, millions of people find meaning in faith. It deserves more respect than that. Kimmel senses resistance and does what comedians do. Pushes. Harder. We're just having fun. Don't go all evangelical on me. He turns to his desk, reaching for something. Actually, we've got a surprise. The prop master hurries out with a glowing halo headband and a white robe. I thought we could do a segment. Jesus judges Hollywood scandals. You put these on and give divine verdicts on celebrity misbehavior. The audience claps rhythmically. Expectant Roumie doesn't move to take the props. The applause wavers, falters. No, says quietly. The microphone barely catching it. I won't mock anyone's faith. Even as a joke, Kimmel blinks, suddenly aware that the light moment he expected isn't materializing. He attempts recovery. It's just comedy. Jonathan, nobody's actually offended by this stuff. Roumie's eyes scan the audience, then lock back on Kimmel. Are you certain about that? He asks the producer. In the control booth, murmurs into Kimmel's earpiece. Move on, Jimmy, skip to segment 3. But Kimmel, feeling challenged on his own stage, makes a crucial mistake. Look, maybe you're taking this Jesus role a bit too seriously. The audience inhales collectively. Something invisible but tangible has shifted in the studio. The line has been crossed. The silence stretches for 3 heartbeats. Roum's expression doesn't change, but something behind his eyes ignites. When he speaks, his voice is low, measured, the same tone he uses for Jesus's most powerful scenes. Too seriously, he repeats each syllable. Deliberate. Let me ask you something. Jimmy, would you make these jokes about other faiths? Would you put a prayer mat down and mock Muslim prayers? Or wear a yarmulke and trivialize Jewish traditions? The audience is utterly still. Now Kimmel's smile falters, his comeback dying on his lips. That's different, he begins. But Roumie continues, leaning forward in his chair. Is it, or is Christianity just an easier target? He gestures toward the halo prop. Do you know what faith means to people? The woman who wrote to me last week, terminal cancer, 3 kids who find strength to face each day through prayer, the teenager contemplating suicide who changed his mind after watching our show. His voice remains calm but carries throughout the silent studio. I respect your right to make jokes, but millions of people, many in this audience, have faith as the cornerstone of their lives. Not a punchline. Camera 3 catches audience members nodding. A few amens, ripple through the crowd in the control booth. Panic erupts. Cut to commercial. The director orders no countermands. The executive producer, eyes fixed on the ratings. Monitor numbers are skyrocketing. Let it play. Kimmel attempts to regain control, his professional smile stretched thin. Come on, Jonathan. We're just having fun here. It's what we do. He turns to the audience. We're all having fun, right? The audience response is scattered, divided, emboldened by the mixed reaction. Kimmel presses on, look, I respect that you're into religion, but this is a comedy show, not Sunday school. He reaches again for the props. Just put on the halo, say something funny in your Jesus voice, and we'll move on. Roumie stands. Suddenly, the move is so unexpected that security stiffens at the wings. No, Jimmy, I won't. His voice remains controlled, but fills the room. But I'll tell you, what I will do? I'll share something I've never told publicly. He pulls out his phone. The movement deliberate this morning. Your head writer texted me. I'd like to read it. Kimmel's face drains of color. Wait, it says Jimmy wants to push the religious stuff. Just roll with the jokes. Faith stuff scores high with conservatives, and we need the ratings. Bump, if you play along, we'll plug your charity before the commercial Roumie looks up from the screen. Monetizing mockery of faith. That's what this is. Gasps ripple through the audience. Phones rise throughout the studio recording. Every second, Kimmel stands now too, his composure cracking. That's completely out of context. His voice rises. You can't just, I can just. Tell the truth, Roumie interrupts his voice. Still, even you invited me here, knowing I've dedicated years to respectfully portraying Jesus, knowing what faith means to me, and millions of viewers then planned all along to turn it into a joke. He turns to face the audience directly. This isn't about being too sensitive, it's about basic respect. The crowd erupts, half cheering, half shouting in confusion. Kimmel's face flushes deep red as he signals frantically to the floor. Director, cut to commercial. Now, but the cameras keep rolling, capturing his panic. You think you can come on my show and pull this, Kimmel? Hisses, leaning closer to Roumie, thinking his mic is off, but it isn't. His words echo through the studio speakers. Roumie doesn't flinch. I came to talk about people dying for their faith. Worldwide, you wanted me to wear a plastic halo and make jokes. He shakes his head. Once this conversation is over, he unpins his microphone with steady fingers in the wings. Emma smiles grimly as security guards approach uncertainly, looking between Roumie and the producers for direction. The studio audience is in complete chaos. Now some standing, some filming, others calling out support for either man. Kimmel makes one last desperate attempt. Voice rising over the den, "Ladies and gentlemen, I apologize for tonight's," but it's drowned out as Roumie walks calmly off stage, the same dignified pace with which he entered. As he passes the main camera, millions of viewers witness the expression. On his face, not anger, not triumph, just profound disappointment and unwavering resolve. The Jimmy Kimmel Live studio erupts in pandemonium. Half the audience stands, phones raised, capturing the unprecedented moment as Jonathan Roumie vanishes backstage. Kimmel remains frozen at his desk, his expression cycling between shock, anger, and the dawning realization of a PR catastrophe unfolding. Live, the band scrambles to play their hurried jazz riff, absurdly inadequate against the weight of what just transpired. We'll be right back. Kimmel manages his voice tight as the network finally cuts to commercial. 37 seconds, too late. Backstage is chaos. Network executives huddle in frantic consultation while legal advisors are already being summoned via urgent texts. A production assistant blocks a reporter who somehow slipped backstage, confiscating their phone through it. All Roumie moves with quiet purpose. Emma at his side, the charity event. He asks her, seemingly unconcerned with the storm around. Him still on for tomorrow. She confirms, a small smile playing at her lips. Attendance just tripled. I'd guess security guards approach, uncertainly caught between protocol and the knowledge that manhandling the man who plays Jesus would only worsen. The optics, Mr. Roumie One, begins the producer's request. We're leaving, Emma cuts, in her tone. Brooking no argument unless you want to physically remove him on camera. She nods toward the 3 audience members who've managed to slip backstage phones. Recording everything, the guard steps back inside the control room. Panic reigns. We need to edit that exchange before the West Coast broadcast. A network executive barks. Pull the text message mentioned completely. The director shakes his head grimly. It's already trending. Roumie receipts is at 50. 0 tweets and climbing. He swipes through his phone. The text is already screenshot and going viral on set. Kimmel huddled with his head writer during the commercial break. Their heated whispers captured by a boom mic nobody remembered to switch. Off, you texted him. That are you insane? The writer's response is desperate. I never thought he'd read it on air. Nobody does that. When the show resumes 4 minutes later, Kimmel's composure is paper thin. Well, that was something he attempts forcing. A laugh that sounds like shattering glass. In show business, folks, not every interview goes as planned. The audience's response is tepid. The energy irrevocably altered. Meanwhile, Roumie sits silently in his car as Emma feels the explosion of calls and messages. His social media following increases by 200,000 in 20 minutes. The video is everywhere. Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, sliced into viral clips with captions like Jesus flips tables at ABC and Roumie stands for faith. Major news networks are already calling for statements. Christian organizations rally in support, while industry insiders debate the career implications of his stand. Was it worth it? Emma asks quietly as they pull away from the studio. Roumie watches Los Angeles scroll past his window. Truth always is. He answers back at his apartment. He turns down offers from Fox News, CNN, and every major network requesting interviews. Instead, he posts a simple statement. I didn't go on TV tonight looking for conflict. I went hoping to discuss a documentary about persecuted Christians. Worldwide, when faith became a punchline, I chose to stand for something deeper than entertainment. No anger, no resentment, just conviction to everyone of any faith who has felt marginalized for their beliefs. You are not alone. The post garners 3 million likes in under an hour. By morning, late-night comedy faces a reckoning. Opinion pieces flood major publications, debating respect, faith, and the boundaries of humor. Smaller talk shows announce revised policies on religious content. Kimmel's ratings plummet among certain demographics, while surging in others. America's cultural divide quantified in Nielsen numbers. A week later, Roumie visits a children's hospital. Cameras deliberately excluded. A nurse asks about the Kimmel incident. That was just one moment. He responds, adjusting a young patient's pillow. This being here with these kids, this is what matters. But something has shifted in Hollywood. 3 faith-based scripts that had gathered dust on executives' desks suddenly enter production. The episode becomes a case study in entertainment ethics classes, and Kimmel, after 3 days of silence, issues a carefully worded apology that manages to say everything and nothing. Simultaneously, what remains indelible is not the controversy, but the image. One man standing quietly, for his convictions, walking away from the noise with the same calm dignity with which he portrayed Jesus of Nazareth in an industry built on compromise. Roumie reminded everyone that some things still matter, more than ratings. That's the story, folks. What a powerful moment of truth in an industry built on illusion. If you love this deep dive, smash that subscribe button to catch more stories. Where conviction collides with culture, we're building a community that values authenticity in a world of carefully crafted images. Drop a comment below with your thoughts. Was Jonathan Roumie a modern-day prophet speaking truth to power? Or did he overreact to what was just meant as comedy? Let me know where you're watching from. Maybe it's Nashville or New York, Jerusalem or Jakarta. Share your own experiences standing up for your beliefs when it wasn't popular. Have you ever had to choose between going along to get ahead or standing firm and walking away? The conversation continues in the comments, and if this story moved, you share it with someone who needs to be reminded that some things are worth standing for, even when it costs you. One moment of unshakable conviction can inspire millions. Like the video, turn on notifications, and I'll see you in the next expose. Stay faithful, stay fearless.